Heavenly gracious God, the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. In Jesus' name. Amen. Sorry for being late. I've been running all day, all night. I went to bed a little late. But I thought I have a lot of time. Sometimes when you think you have a lot of time, you don't have time. Yes, that's what happens. Okay. Okay, so let's begin with our Andrew, our brother.
This one we came to, we did last week.
You want me to read
This,
it?
okay, please.
Yep, okay. Now, among those who went up to worship the feast were some Greeks. So these came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, and asked him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went and told Andrew. Andrew and Philip went and told Jesus. And Jesus answered them, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit."
So when we read this last week, we saw a couple of characters here. We saw about Philip, and we saw about Andrew, how he responded to Philip. And, he is a leader by himself, but how a leader should always consider everyone together. Leader, if he thinks, oh, I am the leader, everybody should follow me, that's a bad attitude for a leader, for a real leader. A real leader, what will think is always, let's go along. That should be the attitude of a leader. And that exactly we see in Andrew, because being the first disciple, I'm sure he was involved, he was instrumental in gathering all the other disciples and involved in a lot of decisions. That's how we see Andrew here. So, when we read Bible, we not only gain some spiritual guidance from our scriptures, also for our day-to-day life. I'm a management guy. I did a couple of masters. I did a lot of, I read a lot of books. Management gurus, management leaders, Stephen Covey, a lot of people. Okay, but I would say Bible is the best book for management. Okay, not only for management, for everything, for our family, for our church life, for our own spiritual life, for everything we can take clues and ideas from Bible. We don't have to read any other book at all. Bible itself is good enough for us, because when we keep reading Bible, every time when you read, you discover new things. That is because this is Word of God and written through the Spirit of God, Holy Spirit of God. So it speaks to us. It is live. It is alive. When you read Bible, the words become alive and just, coming out of the book and just, lingering in your thoughts, in your minds, in front of your eyes. It's just, it's alive. It's a living thing. That's why it just reaches our heart, straight to our heart. Read Bible. So when you read Bible, you cannot read like you read like a fiction. It is not a fiction. Okay. When you read Bible, when you read in between, within, not superficially. Superficially, when you read even the whole chapter, then you will not understand anything. Then you come back to the end of the chapter, because your mind is not there. Your mind is not there. So, what did we read? What did I read? Morning, sometime when you have to pray and read, we read the whole chapter, and end of the chapter, we did not read it actually, because we read it physically, but mentally you are in somewhere else. The same thing happens in our church. We physically present in front of the church and sing and listen to the sermon, but our mind is somewhere else, roaming around. So that it is a hard thing to just keep our mind under our control. But here when we read in the particular portion, I don't know how many people would have thought about the Philip and the relationship and how he came and approached Andrew, and how Andrew said, okay, come along, let's go. Now, it is an important thing that Jesus is talking about, the reason why he came down to the earth. So that's an important part, and Andrew is leading Philip and other people to Christ into this particular thing. So let's see. Next. This is another occasion Andrew was present. I'm sure Andrew would have been present in several occasions. Okay, but going by Bible, going by scriptures, we only see these many things that Andrew was present. Okay, so as we are rooted in the Word, as we do Bible study, we can only go by books. We can only go by our Bible. But I'm sure Andrew would have been present in several occasions. Okay, somebody read please.
Alright, and as he came out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings." And Jesus said to him, "Do you see these great buildings? There will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down."
Historically, theologians say that this particular disciple is Andrew. It says one of his disciples, but people say that is Andrew. So Andrew, look, teacher, what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings. You know, when you go there as a tourist, you see a nice palace, a nice building, a nice tower, and you wonder how it is possible to build. I don't think anybody can build like this at the present time. It's what we think when we go to Statue of Liberty or Eiffel Tower in Paris and Buckingham Palace. When you see inside the fortresses, we wondered. The same manner when Andrew saw the Temple of Jerusalem, it was built by Solomon. You know, God gave directions about what should be the length, what should be the height, what should be the width. Everything was specifically given. Accordingly, King Solomon built. In fact, King David started, but it was destined that in the time of King Solomon it would be built. That's why it's called Solomon's Temple. It is also temple for several temples all over the world. In fact, I was surprised to know there is a place called Tanjore in Tamil Nadu, where I hail from, and that's the native place of Pastor Johnson. 1,000 years back, this is more than 2,000 years old, Solomon Temple, because from Christ it is 2000, and this is much before Christ. King Solomon much before Christ, so I don't know how old was it. But there is 1,000 years old temple, Hindu temple, was built in a place called Tanjore. Remember, I brought a plate with the 3 metal plate and showed you. That's from that place. And that's where a temple was built. And when you see exactly the measurements of that particular temple, it exactly matches the measurement of Solomon Temple. Everything is the same. I will show you the picture maybe next time. It's called the Big Temple. 1,000 years back, it was. I don't know how it reads, but there was a lot of relationship between India and Romans, and archaeologists found a lot of Roman coins of 2,000 years old, Julius Caesar coins and all. They found in India, and because there were some merchant ships traveling back and forth, so they have trade relationships, and you know the black pepper, the small black pepper, and Europeans did not know about black pepper at that time. So they were eating like not spicy, nothing. There's nothing at all. It's just plain food. And when they came to know about the black pepper that Indians were using, they started using in their food, and everybody got excited. Oh, this is great! It's adding taste. So the pepper became so expensive, it was equivalent to gold, I believe. So, you know, one measure of pepper, they will give the equal measure of gold to exchange at that time. So a lot of pepper was being exported from this place. So I'm sure there were relationships, you know, merchant trading relationship and everything. And then pearls, best pearls were imported from India, from southern part of India to Rome. Even Queen Cleopatra was fond of wearing the Indian pearls, and also all the gemstones are from Sri Lanka. All the precious stones, especially emerald, the best emerald that the kings and queens were wearing are from Sri Lanka. When you go to the museum in Washington DC, Smithsonian Museum, you will see a lot of jewelry being displayed, were being used by all the queens and kings of European kings. Those are all from India or from Sri Lanka. Hope there is a big diamond, Hope diamond, big one. That is also from India. So there were a lot of trading relationship. I'm sure the temple, somebody would have just told him about how magnificent the Solomon's temple was, and somebody would have just planned exactly what Solomon told, but it's a Hindu temple. Same manner, like you know, the outer circle, and then the inner circle, and then the corridor, and then the inside the outer circle, and the inside, that sanctum sanctorum of inside. The same thing that we have. We have the altar, and before that we have a corridor, and before that we have, it's like step by step, one step, another step, another step, like that, you know. The Solomon's temple was like that. Unfortunately, the temple was destroyed, and now a mosque is standing in the same place, and that's become one of the holy places for Muslims. So the Muslim tourists go there till today. The other side, the wall is preventing, I told you already, the wall is preventing, the Wailing Wall is preventing. The other side, and the Wailing Wall, a lot of army is present. Israel army is always present. You know, it's scary. All of them easily carry AK-47 guns, machine guns. Everybody, like, and playfully, our kids actually, small kids, they serve Israel army, because it is a must. All the men and women have to serve Israel army for a certain period. Everybody has to serve. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we see. Andrew wonders about the temple. Look what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings. He has exclaimed. And Jesus said to him, do you see these great buildings? There will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down. Jesus completely is talking about a different thing. That's what it is. Next.
Okay, and as he sat on the Mount of Olives, opposite the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign when all these things are about to be accomplished?" And Jesus began to say to them, "See that no one leads you astray."
Okay. Again, what we see here, when they sat on Mount of Olives, Peter, James, John, and Andrew asked him privately. That means, what do you understand when you say privately? That means there is an inner circle for Christ. People who can approach him easily. All of them cannot approach because he is always crowded. But Jesus was easily approachable. Even then, if some people there, we hesitate to go approach. Suddenly you see an important VIP comes here and we want to go talk to him, but we hesitate. We don't go approach. But by the time you decide to go to him, he is already gone. Okay, we want to go, but you are hesitant. You don't, you have some thing stopping you because you don't know him. How does he will react to it? How he will think about you, all those things. When you see a movie star, people go and then take autographs, from them, and they sell the autograph for several $100 later on. People collect stuff, and the basketball players. I have no idea about the basketball stars. The other day when I went out from my office, there was a guy standing by the side of a Rolls Royce beautiful car. He was standing by the side of it. A lot of people, a crowd, and my fascination was not the guy, but the car. Rolls Royce. I was looking, oh, beautiful, and I thought everybody is looking at the car, but then I asked him, "Let me see the car." Car? They were all looking at the guy, tall guy, basketball. I don't know his name. I asked the name, and then somebody said some name.
It's a basketball.
Sometime back, basketball player. Okay. So we want to go approach, but we don't. The same thing on a private. When they say privately, that means they have the privilege of without hesitation, without thinking twice, they are able to go approach him and ask him anything they want. And Peter, James, John, and Andrew, the first set of disciples, even among 12, everybody is different. Like when you see 5 fingers, each finger is different. The thumb is different, and the small one, the ring one, the middle one, the show finger, this one. 5, one is short, one is little bigger than the other fingers, but every finger is important, isn't it? When you don't have this finger, what will you do with 4 fingers? You cannot do anything. Just try. Sometimes when you're hurt, it's difficult. Even one small finger, a problem with a small finger, it's difficult. Same thing in the church, in the community, and everything. Everybody is important, no matter how significant they are. You may be a council member, you may be an ordinary member of the church, you may be a visitor. Every single person is important because every finger in the. So when I see, first I see who's missing here. That's what I see. Where is Lori? Is what my first thought came to my mind when I came. Where is she? That's how everybody is important. But that is the thinking of Christ. But even then, privately, they were privileged to, without hesitation, to go ask Jesus anything that they want. That's what we learn from here. Not about the other things. We can always talk about the other things that Jesus is talking about another occasion, because our focus is Andrew. This is about traditions beyond Bible. Okay? Read.
The church tradition of Georgia regards St. Andrew as the first preacher of Christianity in the territory of Georgia and as the founder of the Georgian church. Want me to
Yes.
continue?
Yes, please.
The first reference regarding the small chapel at Lucca, Malta, dedicated to Andrew, dates to 1497. The pastoral visit of Monsignor Pietro Ducina affirms that this chapel contained 3 altars, one of them dedicated to Andrew.
I think we talked about it last week. Next, please.
The official stance of the Romanian Orthodox Church is that Andrew preached the gospel to the Daco-Romans in the province of Dobrugia, that's Scythia Minor, whom he converted to Christianity. There are some archaeological evidences of this tradition found in a cave called Basarabi near Constanta harbor in Romania. The cave contains carved symbols of ancient Christianity.
But just think about how was the struggle. Even now, Jesus is known to a lot of people. The gospel also people know. But even then, if I decide